What's up, guys? My name's Curtis, and welcome to 5 Minute Finance, where I take personal finance topics and explain them to you in 5 minutes or less. There are so many different types of budgets out there, and although some are better than others, there's no one specific budget that works best for all people. One form of budget that is very simple, intuitive, and easy to understand is called the 50-30-20 budget. The idea is that you spend 50% of your after-tax income on needs, you spend 30% of your after-tax income on wants, and you spend 20% of your after-tax income on savings. It's important that when you're setting up this budget, you use your after-tax income, not your pre-tax income. The main reason for that is your after-tax income is the money that you actually have the ability to spend. As I mentioned, this budget is pretty easy to follow. Within the 50% of your income towards needs portion, you would put things like housing, whether that's mortgage payment or rent, transportation, which would include things like car payment, gas, maintenance, etc., as well as groceries, utilities, and other vital things. This portion of the budget is dedicated to those things that you absolutely need to live, go to and from work, feed yourself, and so on. Within the 30% of your income towards wants portion of the budget, you would put anything that you buy that you don't truly need. Things like eating out, designer clothing, monthly subscription services, and that new iPhone that you seem to need to buy every single fall. These are items or services you don't necessarily need, but they do add value to your life. Finally, within the 20% towards savings portion of this budget, you would put things like retirement contributions, whether that's through a 401k or an IRA, savings to build up an emergency fund, and any other money that you're investing elsewhere. That could be in stocks through a taxable brokerage account, it could be investment real estate, or any other form of investment that you put your money into. Although this 50-30-20 budget is pretty intuitive and straightforward, I'm not a huge fan of it, and I'll tell you why. In my opinion, the only thing that this budget really gets right is the 20% savings rate. If you're able to invest 20% of your take-home pay throughout your life, you're going to be able to live a pretty comfortable retirement. My main issue with this budget is when you look at the 50% towards needs portion of it, especially when you compare two people with vastly different incomes. Somebody who makes minimum wage may struggle to pay for all of their basic needs just using 50% of their take-home pay. According to this budget, that would mean less money available for wants as well as investments. On the other hand, somebody who makes a very good income may only need 20% of their take-home pay to cover their needs. And this would open up the opportunity to invest and save a lot more than 20% of their income, like this budget suggests. There's also discrepancy between different individuals on what really constitutes a need versus a want. Even though, for example, transportation and housing are definitely considered needs, that shouldn't mean that if, for example, you have a high income, you go out and you buy a mansion and a luxury car just so that the cost of your needs equals 50% of your take-home pay. I think everybody should work off of a budget, and the 50-30-20 budget is pretty easy to understand. If you're considering trying it, just be careful and don't categorize certain expenses as needs when they're actually wants. The best advice, in my opinion, that can be learned from this budget is that you should try to save at least 20% of your income. And I always think you should strive to make that even higher if possible. The remainder of your take-home pay should be used for needs as well as the occasional want. I would even challenge you to try to limit the amount of wants that you actually buy in order to increase your savings rate. As always, a higher savings rate means reaching financial independence earlier and having more money available whenever you do choose to retire. If you enjoyed this video, please help me out and give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here, consider subscribing.